I am going to be probably recording all 3 sessions tomorrow because maybe someone has a question and one that they might, ask. So, um, it just depends. Hey, Emmanuel, can you put your birthday? Oh, I can't even click on you. Okay. Um, so it is going to be very, very, very important for you guys to be here on time tomorrow, and we're going to go through all those questions. You guys can already see the stuff for tomorrow. So if you guys wanted to preview it and see what we're going to be doing tomorrow, you guys totally can. And the way that tomorrow is going to work is I'm going to do the top question, you're going to do the bottom question, and it is not due on Monday. Well, not due until after we're done with it on Monday. So you don't have to finish it. You just have to make sure that you're doing the bottom piece. And we're going to do them both in class. So nothing needs to be done at home, but you guys can already go through this and kind of see, what you guys need to do. I need to fix this because this shouldn't be there. So this is basically how your final is going to look like. All right. What are we doing today though? Today we're going to be working on our last assignment other than our final or our final review. So I'm going to copy the link and I'm going to put that in chat. Oops. So click there. It'll send you guys to today's assignment. As you guys are doing that, I also wanted to bring to your attention, if you guys go to stream yesterday, I gave you guys the schedule for the last week of school. Remember, this has probably way more information than you guys need because it also tells you guys when my prep time is, and then like when lunch is. Technically, you guys should be having lunch at the end of third period, but some of you guys, I mean, since you don't have your videos on, you're eating like the entire time, so it is what it is. So for the last week of school, hey, Emmanuel, can you put your birthday in the chat, please? For the last week of school, there's not going to be any tutoring, which, I mean, except for on Wednesday, it's going to be from 8:45 to 10:45. That's when we're going to have office hours or tutoring time. And that's for any of your teachers. So 8:45 to 10:45 is when we're going to have office hours, but all the other days we're not going to have it. And every class is going to be an hour long. Now, for this class, you only have to come to class if you're working on missing assignments and you're not happy with your grade. Then we can, walk you guys through absolutely any assignment that you guys need. But other than that, that's all you guys have to do for that last week. And again, it's in stream and it's that first thing right there. And it's a schedule for everybody for that last week of school. Let's look at today's assignment. You guys have 3 pages. The first page is basically where you're going to highlight where we're going to start. So for instance, we're going to start right here on question number 1. And then the way that it's going to work is you're going to solve this, and you can either go this way if the answer is 4, -1, or you're going to go down if the answer is -4 and 1. How are you guys going to solve this? By either graphing it, or I added an extra page if you guys wanted to use substitution. Some of you guys do better with substitution. Some of you guys do better with graphing. You can do all of these by graphing. It was actually built that way. It was built for all of you guys to practice graphing. However, you guys can do some of these by substitution. Any that don't have any fractions, you guys can do substitution. Yeah, depending on the question you have, again, all of these can be done by graphing because they're all y equals. And remember that cartoon that Ms. Gomez made for you guys? As long as it said y equals, then you guys should do graphing. But some of you guys like substitution, so I'm going to do both for some of them. But for substitution, you can't do any of them that have the fractions. You can't do that with substitution. Not that you can't, it's just a lot more difficult, and no, don't try it. You end up having to do a whole bunch of crazy stuff, and you don't want to do that. So um, I'm going to do the first 4 with you guys. And sometimes I'm going to ask you guys, do you want me to solve this by substitution or substitution or graphing? But I'm going to do one of each first, and then we'll go through it after that. Again, you guys can do all of them through graphing if you guys want. See how it's already built there for you guys to do all the work. Yes, you have to show me all your work. No, if you guys figure out what the pattern is for this and you just color it in, I'm not going to give you guys any credit for that. All right. So you guys know, just in case I lose any of you guys, we're doing all of these except 2 questions are not going to be touched. That way you guys know that you guys did it correctly. You're going to do all of these. Only 2 of them are going to not be touched. So that's a way for you guys to know that you guys did it correctly. And then again, I need to see work either by graphing or in the last page, do it by substitution. So let's get started. Let me see who's here. I see Catherine here, Manny, Jade, Jimena, Juan, Lizette, Marifer. Man, some of you guys are already like working on it. Natalie, Sammy. All right. Let's get started on this. So I'm going to take this first question. I'm going to zoom in a lot. I see that I have a fraction. So what I'm probably going to do is I'm going to graph this because I see that fraction and I know I'm not going to be able to do substitution even if I wanted to. So where do I start? I'm going to start with that +2. So I'm going to go over to question box 1 and I'm going to start with +2. So 1, 2, plot my point right there. And again, if I go too fast, please let me know. If you have any questions, again, please let me know. So from there, I'm going to look at my slope. My slope is 1/4. What does that mean? That means I'm going to go up 1 and 4 to the right. So I'm going to start at that point. I'm going to go up 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and plot my point right there. I can't go again, so I'm going to go backwards, down 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and then plot my point right there. Now, some of you guys are still forgetting to use the line tool to draw your lines. And I had a couple of kids going, hey, even when I do that, like there's sometimes that I can't put it exactly on those points. So what I suggest, still put your points and keep going until you hit both sides of the graph. Either both sides this way or both sides going up and down. You should be hitting 2 sides of the graph if you guys can't draw your line all the way. And then you guys can delete that work to show. And then there's your first line. And I'll show you guys kind of what I'm talking about. So that's the first one. Now let's do the second one. I'm going to start back here at -3. So still the same line or same graph. And I'm going to go down 1, 2, 3 to -3, plot my point. And my slope here remember there's an invisible 1 here. So this is -1 over 1. So that means I'm going to go down and to the right. Be careful with these, guys. Some of you guys who did your homework for Tuesday, you guys were messing up with this specific one. Either you guys would go up instead of down, or you just kept changing the direction. So make sure if it's -1 or negative x, it's -1 over 1. If it's positive x like this one, then it would be 1 over 1, which means that we would go up and to the right, just, as an example. So we're going to go down from here over 1. And this is what I'm talking about. Especially when it comes to small slopes, we could go down and over, and then up and over. And some of you guys had the tendency of doing this. You would draw this line. Notice that it doesn't touch that line because you only drew it super small, and then said it was no solution because they didn't touch. Please don't do that. Remember, you have to extend it all the way until it hits one side and the other side. Or at the very least, keep going with your points. So there's a point right there, up and over. There's a point right there, up and over. And look, that point right there, this is where my answer is going to be because it touched that other line, up and over. So now I can grab that line and I can extend it. And I know my point's going to be right there. So where is that point? Well, I'm going to start here at 0, and I'm going to go left or right first. So left, 1, 2, 3, 4. That's -4. And then I went up 1, so it's 1. Be careful again on where you guys are putting your answers. Some of you guys are still mixing up those numbers and putting them backwards. Hey, Manuel, can you put your birthday in the chat, please? So once I've done this and I figured out what my point is, I'm going to go back to the first slide and look. I am looking for a -4 and a +1. So looking here, this is a +4 and a -1. Thank you, Manuel. So then that means I'm going to go down that way. So I'm going to color my spot right here, which means my next problem that I'm going to do is going to be this one. And I'm going to change my color so I can tell, oh, these two go together and these two go together and these two go together. Do you have to do it that way? No. I saw someone in my last set of classes do it this way, and I really, really liked that. So it just made everything so like very nice and clear. Also, just so that you guys know, as you guys are covering this, if I do put a, where did my sticker go? Hold on. There we go. If I put a sticker that looks like this, that means that you are on the right track. So keep going. So this is a good sticker. It just means yes, you're doing well. Keep it up. If you go the wrong way, I'll let you guys know that you guys did something wrong. But this is just letting you guys know, like, yes, keep it up. All right. Everyone ready? Man, some of you guys are like, you're going way too slow, and you guys are already like halfway done. Awesome job. All right. I'm going to look at that first, our next point, and notice both of these are all whole numbers. So what I'm going to do, because I don't want to have to go back and forth, you don't have to do this, obviously. You guys can go back and forth. I'm going to screenshot this. And I'm going to go to that last page. Since they're both like all whole numbers, I can do all of my work here. So I'm going to copy that, y equals 5x minus 4. Again, if you hate substitution, you do not need to solve it by substitution. You guys can solve it by graphing and continue working on this one by graphing. It is up to you on which way you guys want to do it. I am just showing you guys that you have options. And trust me, guys, not very many, math teachers tell you guys that you have options and you get to choose which one you're better at. So you can either do substitution or you guys can do it by graphing. But since I don't have any fractions on this one, this one's a great one to be able to do substitution on. So I noticed both of these are y equals. So yes, so someone's asking, if I do substitution, can I do this on paper and then just attach it? Yeah, you can either attach it and again, you can take a picture here and then do camera and then take a picture of my horrible face and just capture it and, paste it directly onto this page. Or, by the way, you see these two? A student from my last set of classes, she drew these to represent me, and she did another cartoon for Ms. Gomez. It was super cute, and a couple of her other class teachers. Super, super cute. But you can either do it there or you can attach it here in Google Classroom as well. So either one would work. Write down here though where you're gonna attach it. So if it's here, then obviously you don't have to do anything. But if it's gonna be attached to Google Classroom, just let me know Google Classroom, and then that way it's a little bit easier for me to grade. All right. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this 5x minus 4, and we're gonna go wee. Oops, I went wee too much. Whee! There we go. And I'm going to plug it into this y. All that does is it makes one really long equation. Hey, Alexis, can you put your birthday in the chat, please? Equals negative 3x plus 4. I need to remember to charge my stuff because I feel like these are going to die soon. My keyboard is fine. My mouse is the thing that's going to die. But I don't know what's up. All right. So you'll have something like this. All that meant was I took this equation and I put it where they're both, where the y is at, so they're both together. How do you solve this? I'm going to look at both of my x's and I'm going to pick which one is smaller. See, this is how I know it's you. So looking at 5x and negative 3x, obviously any number that's negative is going to be smaller than anything that's positive. So what we're going to do is we're going to move this negative 3 over to the other side so I can have the x's all on one side. The reason why we pick the smaller number is so that we can have positive numbers because we hate negative numbers. I mean, if you like negative numbers, cool, move whichever one you want. I hate negative numbers, so I want to do the opposite where I end up with a positive 3x versus a negative 3x. So I'm going to add 3x to both sides. Again, if I confuse you, let me know in chat, or if I'm going too fast, again, let me know, and then everything else goes down. So again, pick the x that is smaller, which normally all your negatives are going to be smaller. How do you get rid of it? By doing the opposite, which is add 3x to both sides. 5 plus 3 gives me an 8x. Everything else comes down. From here, I need to get rid of that 4 to get the x all by itself. So instead of a -4, I'm going to add 4 to both sides. I get 8x. My 4's go away. Equals 4 plus 4, 8. Divide both of these by 8. And I get x equals 1. So grab that 1. And we're going to go wee. And we're going to plug it into x. So y equals, the 5 doesn't change. However, in parentheses, instead of that x, I'm going to plug in that 1. Minus 4. 5 times 1 gives me a 5 minus 4. And then 5 minus 4 is just 1. Make sure you guys put them in the correct spot. It doesn't matter which one you solved first. It just matters which you order, which one's your x and which one's your y. Here is my x, so that goes first. Here's my y, that goes second. And since it's the same numbers, it doesn't really matter. So your answer should have been 1, 1. So let's go to page 1. And we're going to look at the two options. I have 1, 5, and I have 1, 1. So that means I'm going to be going down. So let me go back to page 3 so you guys can copy that. Some kids in first period was like, okay, so I did that, so I'm going to do a squiggly line so that I don't confuse it with the work for somebody else. They also numbered them. This was question 2, so they put a 2. Give me a thumbs up. Are we good? Clap if we need more time. I see that clap. Some of you guys took like half the page to do that question. You're going to run out of space. You're going to have to do the rest of it on paper. All right. So let's go to question 3. So it's telling me I'm going to go down. So then my next question is going to be this one right here. Now, this is where I'm going to ask you guys, which one would you guys rather me do? Technically, these are all whole numbers, so I can do substitution again, or I can do solving it by graphing. Which one would you guys like me to do? So thumbs up, graphing, clap if you guys want me to do substitution again. So which one would you guys like me to do? I see graphing as one. Does anyone else want me to do substitution, or I got one substitution? Who's going to break that tie? We're going to do more, or we're going to do more graphing. Okay, I got one of each. So let me do graphing this one first, and then we'll do substitution. That way you guys can see, the difference between the two. So again, like before, I'm going to start with that -2. Just so that I can stay, this is 1, 2, this is question 3. So, no, I'll just keep it with this. All right, so we're starting off with -2. So we're going to start here at 0, count down 1, 2, plot my point right there. And then my slope is -3, but there's nothing else underneath it. And remember, we like to have them as fractions. So we're going to put them over 1. What does this mean? It means I'm going to go down 3 and 1 to the right. So from this point, I'm going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3, 1 to the right. That's already at one point, one side, so I need to go up 1, 2, 3, 1 to the right, plot my point right there, and keep going until you hit the other line. 1, 2, 3, over 1, up. That's as far as I probably can go. Then I'm going to connect my dots. The next one has me at +3. So I'm going to count at 0 and count 1, 2, 3, plot my first point there. And my slope for that one is +2, which means 2 over 1, which means I'm going to go up 2 and then 1 to the right. Up 2 and 1 to the right. So from this point, I'm going to go up 2, 1 to the right, plot my point right there. I can't go any further, so I'm going to go down. Down 2, 1 to the right, and boom. We already know what our point's going to be. It's going to be that point right there. So I'm going to keep going just to get into the habit. Down 2, 1 to the right, or left. Down 2, 1 to the left. And then connect my dots. Using the line tool, please do not try and draw these lines by yourself. So where did we cross? We crossed right there. What point is that? Well, I start at 0. I went 1 over to the left, so that's -1. And I went up 1, so that's a +1. So my answer is -1, +1, which is going this way. Now, if I wanted to do this by substitution, I have y equals -3x minus 2. And y equals 2x plus 3. Again, we're going to take this guy right here, and we're going to go, wee, and we're going to plug it into that y. So all that means is I'm going to set them both equal to each other. So -3x minus 2 equals 2x plus 3. Look at both of your x's. Which one is smaller? Obviously, the negative one is. So that's the one that I'm going to move first. So what's the opposite of a -3? +3. By the way, let me move this guy. Plus 3x. My 3's go away. I'm left with -2 equals 2 plus 3 gives me a 5x plus 3. Subtract 3 from both sides. They're both negative. I owe you $2. I owe you another 3. So I still owe you. How much do I owe you? I owe you 5. Be careful with your signs. I did notice some of you guys messing that up on your homework from Tuesday. Divide both of these by 5s. Negative and positive still gives me a negative. 5 divided by 5 gives me a 1. So my first point at the very least, or my first number I'm going to plug in, X, Y. This is an X, so that's going to be the first number right there. So I'm going to take this guy right here, and I'm going to go, whee, and I'm going to plug it into this X. So I get Y equals -3. Don't forget your parentheses. -1 minus 2 Y equals a negative, and a negative is going to give me a positive. Positive what? 3 times 1, 3 minus 2, and Y equals 3 minus 2 is 1. So that's exactly the same thing as what we had when we graphed. Technically, this is 3. So did you have to do both ways? No. I was just showing you guys could have done it one or the other. All right, give me a thumbs up if you're ready with that one. Clap if you guys need more time. Or if you guys want me to show you the graphing one, put it into chat telling me that you guys want the graphing one. Okay. Hey, Laura. We are working on this activity. Oh, I don't have any. Hold on. Sorry. There you go again. We're working on that activity. This is being recorded, so you'll probably have to go back and look at some of the recordings so that you can check it. But if you can put your birthday in the chat, I'd appreciate that. Awesome. Thank you. And let me know once you guys are done with this graph, taking a screenshot of this graphing one. All right. All right. I'm going to do this middle one. So the path takes us here. Again, remember, only 2 of these are not going to be shown, or like you're not going to color in 2 of them. All the other ones you'll have to do. But again, if you figure out the pattern, you still need to do all the work. So this one, we can go 3 ways. You can either go 3, -2, 3, -3, or 3 and 1. So let's see which one we're going to get. Since I see this fraction, that does mean that I'm going to have to do graphing for this one. So since we see this fraction, we are going to graph. So we're going to start right here at +3. +3. So count 1, 2, 3. Plot that point right there. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Okay. And then from here, we're going to have -2 over 3. So go down 2 and 3 to the right. Down 2, 3 to the right. So from this point right here, we're going to go down 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 to the right. I can't go again. I don't have enough space. So let's go up. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3 to the left. And then plot my points. Again, do not forget to connect your dots. Use that line tool. Do you have to change colors the way I do? No, it is just, it just makes life a little easier though, or at least I think so. And then I look at the next one. I have a -2, so I'm going to start at -2. So restart at 0, count down 1, 2, plot your point right there. And my slope, remember there's an invisible 1 right here. So that technically this is 1/1. So this means up 1 and 1 to the right. Up 1 and 1 to the right. So up 1, 1 to the right, plot my point, up 1 to the right, plot my point, and keep going until you hit that point where they both cross. We already know what our answer is going to be, but I'm going to keep drawing my dots just to help me out, especially if I'm having a hard time drawing these lines. At the very least, plot those points so that I, as your teacher, can see all of that. Nice. That's great to hear. So the fraction ones are a lot easier because it automatically tells you guys, yes, go this way. The whole number one, a lot of you guys tend to mess up because you forget that you have to go over 1. And somehow you guys think like, oh, I see a 3. So you'll go like up 3 and then to the right 3, which isn't what you're supposed to do. So some people still have a hard time with the whole number ones. That's why I showed you guys how to solve it by substitution, and maybe that helps. So where do my points cross? It crosses right here. What's that point? Let me draw my point. And I'm going to count 1, 2, 3. So that's a +3 for my x. And I went up 1, +1. So let me go here. And which direction are we going? We're going up. Going up. And there you guys go. Some of you guys are like insane with how fast you guys are doing this assignment. All right. So by a show of hands, does anyone want me to do the next one? Give me a thumbs up. If you're good though, then I won't do the next one. I see a thumbs up. All right. So let's do this next one. Again, if you guys see this keep going sign, it does mean that you are on the right track. I haven't given it to anybody yet though. That's once we're done. So let me change my color. What color do I want to do? Let's do orange. All right. So which ways can I go? I could go 1/5, but it doesn't make sense to go back here. So this is probably not an option. I could go up 2 and -5, or I can go to the right 4, 4. So these are probably my two options that I have. So I'm going to look at this. I have a -3 is where I'm going to start. So start at -3, start at 0, 1, 2, 3, plot my point. And again, I have that invisible 1, which means I have 1/1, which means I'm going to go up and to the right. So up to the right, up to the right, up to the right. And I'm going to keep doing that until I hit a wall. There's my wall. I'm going to go back and go backwards, up, down and left, and then connect my dots. Let's go back. The next one, I'm going to start at 2. So restart at 0, count up 1, 2, plot my point. And my slope is -1 over 4. So I can do the -1 on top and then the +4 on the bottom, which means I'm going to go down 1 and then 4 to the right. So from this point, I'm going to go down 1 and then count 1, 2, 3, 4 up. There's my point right there. And I know that we're going to cross here. I can't go again, so I'm going to go backwards. Up 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, and then connect my dots. So where are we crossing? We're crossing right there. What point is that at? Well, let's see. We're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4. So the first number is a 4. And up 1. 1. So let's see. We're going to end up going to the right. So I will zoom out for you guys. All right. Here's the deal for the rest, guys. You're responsible for the rest of this. You guys can choose to either stay here in class. I am going to open up your exit ticket. Just kidding. I forgot to do this in first period, and a lot of them did not do it once it like clicked in. So let me assign that to you guys. You guys have the option to either stay here in class or and work on the assignment, or you guys can leave Zoom and you guys should be working on this assignment. You still have 30 minutes left in class, so you should be doing my work for the next 30 minutes. But technically, this isn't due until 4 o'clock. So make sure that you guys work on this and have it done by 4. If you don't turn it in by 4, then at the very least, turn it in at some point today. After today, though, I am going to take away a point if you guys do not turn it in on time today. But again, if you guys have all day today to do it, if I get it by tomorrow, then that means it is going to be late and you're going to be docked a point. But that's it for class, guys. I'm going to stop recording here.